Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are going to focus on pre-reading activities. By the end of this lecture, you will be able to analyze and design pre-reading activities. And previously we have covered reading stages and strategies and word attack skill and text attack skill. And now we are going to focus on pre-reading activities. Now, if we talk about pre-reading activity in order to understand it more properly, let's consider this particular text, that is three unusual hotels, right? This text is basically about three different hotels and their qualities, right? So if this is the text, then what kind of activities, pre-reading activities can be designed in order to make the students activate their vocabulary, in order to brainstorm them, right? So this is one of the pre-reading activity, that is to predict the content. You can ask the students, the activities are mentioned in the bold, right, and the intention or the strategy behind is mentioned below it. Okay, this is what I'm going to do in all the slides. So the activity name is activity to predict the content. This can be conducted in this way, that you can ask the students to read the title, what do you think about the text is about, and write down some of your ideas and share them with your partners, right? Doing this will help the students increase their reading, writing, listening and speaking skills. It will raise the students' interest in the topic and it will create their expectations. Predictions, no right or wrong answers can be there. Right now they are just supposed to think about it, right? To develop cooperation and interaction in the class, increases confidence of weak students or shy students, and the time that can be spent for this activity can be 5 minutes. Second activity is guessing game, as we have discussed in listening as well. So there can be guessing games in reading as well. In pre-reading, you can the students can ask questions from the teacher in order to guess the topic of the text. This is when the topic is not explained. When the topic is not suggested or shown by the teacher, then only this activity can be conducted. The teacher can only answer yes or no. The students will keep on answering asking the questions, and teacher is supposed to answer in yes or no, so that they can guess the topic. They can work in pairs as well if necessary, or they can be, if individual, then few minutes can be given to the students in order to prepare the questions. This will focus on their speaking, listening, writing skills, and this will help them in making interrogative sentences and asking questions. And the use of simple present tense can also be done in this way. And the time that can be allotted for this activity is again 5 minutes. In overall, for pre-reading activity, 5 to 7 minutes can be given. This is another activity that can be conducted. Different pictures can be shown to the students, and you can ask the students about the pictures and about the title. Like, for example, look at the photos above. What is unusual about these buildings? Which hotel do you uh, think are going to appear in the text? Discuss your ideas in pairs. Okay, so if you have told the title of the story or the title of the text, then you can ask the students about uh, the text by showing the pictures as well. This activity will focus on the speaking and the listening, and it will help to introduce the topic using visual aid, and it gives the students a purpose to read the text, to develop cooperation and interaction in the class, and again increases the confidence of the students. Teacher can easily get the feedback from the students. This can take around 4 minutes are enough for this activity. Another activity is write 4 questions you think you will be answered in the text. Now, in this way, the students are not, in this activity, the students are not going to ask questions from the teacher. Rather, they are supposed to write down the questions which they think will be there in the text. right? Or you can say this is related with the predicting strategy, right? So a skill that can be covered in this activity is writing, listening and speaking, and it again will make them practice writing questions and use of vocabulary, and the purpose of the text can be easily understandable for the students, and students can get the feedback. She can ask the students to write the correct or the possible questions on the board as well. This will take a little bit more time because this teacher is supposed to ask the students to write the questions on the board. Next activity is, what do you think comes next? Can you give your ideas about these unusual hotels? For example, we have discussed an activity in pre-listening stage that was related with discussion on the title, right? So this is almost the same activity that the teacher can read out the name of the title and the possible hotels that are mentioned in the text, or possible things that are mentioned in the text, and then teacher can ask the students to uh, tell her or the class about what's there in the text, or what's come next, or what is that unusual thing about those hotels if it is related with that text. Skills can include listening, speaking, reading and writing. All four skills can be included, and the teacher can ask in groups, or she can make pairs, or individual can also answer. It will increase the students' knowledge about the text and increase their interest and expectations as well. This will also take around 5 minutes. Another activity is to predict the vocabulary. Like for example, I have told you in listening skill about the keywords and about the blanket words, right? Same is the case over here. Some vocabulary can be given to the students in order to make them write the story, or to ask them how that can be used in the text. Which words do you think will appear in the text? Write them down. By showing the title, you can ask the students to write the possible words that can appear in the text, or you can even provide the list to the students, and then you can ask them to uh, show whether it is possible or impossible. जो हमने possible impossible की activity की थी वो भी आप यहाँ करवा सकते हैं. Share your ideas with your partner. This can also be done. This will include writing, speaking and listening skill, and students can take notes on their own in order to compare their answers with their other students. This will increase the confidence of the students and make them able to mind map on the board. Students can even write those, teacher can ask the students to write those words which they think vocabulary that will come in the text on the board. This will also take around 5 minutes. Read the title. This is another activity that can be done in pre-reading stage. That read the title. Which of these words do you think will appear in the text? Wahi, the same one, that is possible or impossible. You can make a chart, sort of chart. You can give these words in the first column, and then you can ask the students to tick mark in the possible or the impossible chart, whether they are possible or impossible. In this activity, it should be kept in mind that 50% words should be from the text and 50% words should be out of the text. Okay, not from the text. Okay, so the skills that can be covered, all the four skills can be covered in this activity, and depending on the level of the students, you can ask them to give the reason of their choice, why they think that this word will appear in the text, or you can ask them to create a story if it is at an advanced level, and this will also take around 5. So these were some of the activities that can be used in the pre-reading stage. Pre-reading activities were mentioned in this lecture today. So just keep this thing in your mind that all these activities cannot be used with the same text, right? You can use only one or two of these activities for any particular text, depending on the type of the text that you are using for the students, and the level of the students as well. Okay, time spent on these activities should be very short, only around 5 to 7 minutes. Okay, and after this, the students are supposed to read the text, not before this or not during it. Okay, because this is pre-reading, so this should be used after, I mean, the text reading should be done after these activities. Okay, and that's all for today. Inshallah, in the next lecture we are going to cover during reading or while reading activities in the while reading stage.